What's up, everybody? Back at it again with another video. In this one, it is another one of my never-ending quest for lightness modifications to this. So what I'm going to be doing, getting rid of this bad boy and replacing it with this. The sunroof is up at the top of the vehicle, obviously, and it weighs about 35-ish pounds, and that is at the very top of the vehicle. And it's a very common thing to get rid of this thing and swap out something lighter. They do make like little plug type kits that will just bolt in and like look factory. I don't really have that. I have plexiglass, and plexiglass is even lighter, or about the same weight, so it'll do just fine. But yeah, it's like I said, it's at the top of the car, so removing that weight will take 35 pounds off of the top and lower the center of gravity a bit, so it handles just that little bit better. So let's get going, see what we can do. So I do owe you guys a little bit of an update of where we're at. So you guys saw the Miata seat. Like I said, that took about like 20-ish pounds out. The few other things that I am doing at the moment that I'm working on is simplifying the wiring harness on the inside. I've got it sort of like taken apart and a few wires still remaining, along with the air control box, evap box, whatever you want to call it. That's out. I do need to make a little plug. I need to get some sheet metal and stuff to fill that hole so the heat and everything from the engine doesn't pass through to the cabin. But only have that tiny little bit of carpet left, and that's simply because I don't really feel like moving all that stuff right now. But yeah, the only thing left after this guy, the plexiglass, would be the sound deadening underneath the carpet, getting some dry ice to break that up, and the transmission, the auto to manual swap, should drop quite a bit of weight from the difference in weight of the two, and I think that may be it as far as like huge things to drop weight out of. So yeah, we're gonna get going. I gotta get the sunroof out so we can get that guy in. Alright, so to get the sunroof out is pretty simple. It is just a bunch of these little T25 Torx bits surrounding the entire thing. Just got to get all those out. Disconnect these little guys just like that. Those are little water drain for the sunroof so the cabin doesn't get soaked. Just got to get those out, the bolts out, and then this thing should just come straight down. It's just a matter of getting it out of the car. I think I'm probably going to go through the passenger seats or the passenger door, since that seat actually reclines. This one does not. So let's get going. Alright, so if you're following along and you're trying to do this yourself, you'll notice that you'll get all of the little bolts out, as well as the hoses off of the water drain, but you'll see that the sunroof just still isn't coming down. Well, that's because safety was in mind when they built this, so there are a couple other things that are holding it up, including these little clips in here on the back to hold the back up, and then up at the front there's a little hook that it grabs into. Well, not really a hook, like a little shelf almost. And that's essentially if for whatever reason during your driving experience all of the bolts that hold us up shear off, this thing just isn't come crashing down on your head. So you'll just get those little clips out, they just push off of the side, and then this should pull back out of that little shelf, and then should be good to come out. So make sure you keep that in mind whenever you do this to your own car, because who are we kidding, everybody loves to modify their car until it's completely unreliable. Seems to be like the rite of passage. But yeah, that's the key to getting it out. So have fun with that. Alright, and just like that, the sunroof is out. Got it sitting over on the side. Like I said, it's like 35-ish pounds, so it's quite a bit of weight up on top of the roof. So it should help out dramatically with like the side-to-side weight, essentially. The only thing that we have to do now is plug that hole. I do actually kind of like the amount of light that's getting in, so probably just going to keep that thing clear, the plexiglass that is, just because that extra sunlight. These windows are tinted hella dark, so any little bit of sunlight in here is definitely going to help. So let's get everything marked up, cut, drilled, blah 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 blah. Break. Alright, so got the new piece of plexiglass on. It's sort of marked up a little bit where I wanted to go. I want to have like about an inch on all four sides, so I have somewhere to drill into. So I'm going to mark it back here, and then cut, and then break out the drill. Alright, so I got the holes in the plexiglass drilled out. One thing to be careful of, this is very thin and very brittle, so just when you're drilling this out, let the drill do the work. Try your best not to put any pressure down onto it, because you will crack it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill the first hole into the roof of the car. So I have a spot to work off of, and we'll peel the protective layers off both top and bottom, and then rivet them in. Alright, so I got the first one riveted in. So now I have sort of like a fixed point of where it's going to be at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of like do this how you would a gasket, if you will, and like do a crisscross pattern from the center and work your way out. So should be good to go from here on out. Shouldn't take too much longer. I mean, it's only like a couple rivets and then it's completely done, and should save quite a bit of weight. And just like that, got all of the rivets in. Some of them were a little bit of a nightmare. The tray that goes like in between the roof and like where the sunroof goes, there's like an extra bit of metal that was a lot thicker than the sheet metal that they use for the body panels, so it took quite a bit longer to drill through, but I did get everything done. So the last step is to peel all of this off. It's like there's nothing even there. That is how clear it is. That is awesome. And quite a bit lighter too. 35 pounds for the sunroof. This thing weighs pretty much nothing. A pound at most. That's going to be it. So thank you guys for watching. It isn't. I will end up taking this back off whenever I go to wrap it. I do need to address the paint, but for right now, I dig it. I like the extra headroom, the extra sunlight, and the less weight. So everything's all good. So I guess until next time, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. I'll be back at it here shortly. Peace.